fixturing, I mean, we still use some of the same concepts that you do with any other type of measuring, even with the electronics. We're going to start with 4 primary fixtures, which are basically going to attach to the torque box of the vehicle in the center section.
Looking at fixture systems today, you have 2 types. You have a dedicated type, which uses a dedicated fixture top or base that connects to the vehicle, that's vehicle specific, or you're using a universal system that is one system that works on every car and uses a data sheet in order to be able to place the part in the right position for length, width, and height.
One of the differences between dedicated and universals is that we can use because you can adjust universals. You know, you have pieces that you can kind of build like an erector set, that we can use them in conjunction with electronics. We can measure with electronics and use still use the fixtures to lock and hold the point. And that's part of the thing about a fixture is measuring, but it's also holding and anchoring. So you can pull against them. You can use them to hold a part down securely while you weld it, rivet bond it, whatever in, and measure. So you're doing all 3 functions with the same piece. That fixture performs all 3 of those. Say I'm working on a car, I have no fixture data for it. I can use electronics to measure the vehicle. I can use electronics to even measure where the fixtures are as I build them out in space by comparing them to fixtures I built on the opposite side to the points that we're going to mirror over to the other side. And so we've actually used the universals to build a fixture out in space and then drop a frame rail on and lock it down and weld it to the vehicle.
And when we look at fixturing a vehicle, typically the data sheets are going to be created using the PLPs, or the principal locating points, that the vehicle manufacturer used when they designed and built the vehicle. Suspension mounting areas, fixture areas that the car was held on as it was being built, in the rear ends of the rails, those types of things where positioning is critical.
The reality is some of these cars aren't built exactly the same. You know, maybe they change a supplier for a subframe, and the new one is, you know, 1/4 inch difference in thickness from what was used before. It's going to throw off our datum plane, and that's when you can go out and start building fixtures to the outside of the car, try to figure out what's going on. Ran into scenarios like that where on a certain model car they have different thickness subframes for different models, and maybe, you know, at the factory they cross some of those over. Okay, you know, we don't have any of these, and so we're going to use the one for the other model in there because it'll still work. And when somebody tries to fixture the car, the car ends up sitting on the bench at a little bit of an angle. You know, they're working on the back and they say everything in the back is showing to be too high. What do I do at this point? If you're suspect of the center section not being correct, I tell people, well, if everything in the back is too high, I go build some fixtures up front. And then if everything in the front's too low, now I know the car's unlevel on the bench, and then I can kind of try to set the front and the back at the right height and then see which one of the center section one needs to be changed to make it smooth out.